Hi everyone, this is a help video on our lesson on classifying polynomials 1.2. And this is what the problems look like. They give you a polynomial and they ask you, is this a polynomial or not? And if it is, they want to know the type it is, what's the name of it, and the degree. All right, so before we start answering questions, let's look at our class notes. All right. And so, is something a polynomial or not? All right, a polynomial is something that has one or more terms in which all the variables have whole number exponents. Okay, so no fractions, no negatives, and no variable is in the denominator or in a radical. Okay, and let's remember some equivalent expressions. Actually, a fractional exponent is the same as a radical. And a negative exponent is the same as having the variable in the denominator. All right. Now, so if it doesn't have any of those four things there, a fraction, a radical, a negative sign, or the variable being in the denominator, it's going to be a polynomial. All right. And then what's it going to be called? Well, it's going to be called based on the number of terms it has. All right, if it has one term, so it's called a monomial. If it has two terms, now it has, it has two terms because the terms are separated by a plus or a minus sign. So this has two terms, an n and a 4. That's a binomial. This has three terms separated by plus and minus signs. So there is a 2x, 4x cubed, and an xh, that's a trinomial. Anything bigger than that is called a polynomial. All right, and finally, what is the degree? Okay, the degree is the highest sum of the exponents. All right, well, there's one exponent here, and it's a 3, so that means this is a degree 3. All right, this one, it doesn't look like it has an exponent, but we have to remember that even though we don't write it, it has an invisible 1 right there. So this is like n to the first power, right? N to the first power. All right, and so the exponent is 1, so it has a degree of 1. All right, and then we have this next one. So we have the invisible 1 here, a 3, and an 8. Well, the biggest one of those is an 8, so this is a degree 8. Now, in the last one, if we look at it, we can see it has a 5, a 3, a 4, and a 2. And so we might select the 5 as the biggest exponent. But remember, this said the highest sum, all right? And so in this one in particular, it has 2 right here. It has 2 exponents that the sum of those is 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. So this is a degree 7. All right? Okay, not too complicated. We're going to have this little cheat sheet to look at, so we don't need to memorize it right now anyway. Okay, so let's do a little polynomial yes or no. All right, what about this one? Well, the variable has a 1, so that's a positive whole number, so we're okay. The coefficient is a radical, but we don't care because that wasn't part of our definition. This one's a no because it has a variable in the denominator. This one is a yes because 9 is a positive whole number. It's okay if the coefficient is negative. This one is a no because it has a radical. This one is no because it has a negative 5. Okay, so remember, those are our 4 no's: fraction, radical. So our 4 no's over here were fraction, no; radical, no; negative, no; denominator, no. All right, so now there's one other special case where you would say, wait a minute, is this 25, is that a polynomial? And yeah, because it's a little tricky, but you can write this as x to the 0 power. And we know anything to the 0 power, so x to the 0 power is actually equal to 1. just like anything to the 0 power. We could say 492 to the 0 power, and that is going to equal 1. Okay, so the answer is yes, because it can be written in that, and it has a whole number. 0 is a whole number. The whole numbers actually start at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, dot, dot, dot. So 0 is a whole number, and it's not negative. So it's a polynomial. All right. That was a little quick lesson on our polynomials. Whoops, I got to get rid of our screen right. Screen right discard. And we go back to our lesson. Okay. And remember, on all of these lessons, you can watch a help video. All right. And this help video will go through and explain, in this case, y is 4y a polynomial or not. All right. So if you don't like my video, you can watch that video. It could be helpful. All right. So let's put this over on the side. And I hope all of you are using a nice scratch paper with your pencil to do these problems. And we want to know, in this case, is C2 subtract C4 a polynomial or not? Well, it looks like a polynomial because it has whole number exponents. Okay, so yes, that is a polynomial. So we're going to go over here and we're going to say, yes, that represents a polynomial. All right, the next thing it wants to know is this a binomial or trinomial or monomial? Okay, well, if I look over here, I see that this has 2 terms. Okay, so it has c to the 2nd power and negative c to the 4th power. And if we look over on our notes said that 2 terms was a binomial. All right, so we're going to say this was a binomial. And what is the degree? Okay, so what is the highest exponent? All right, the highest exponent, or sum of exponents, is a 4. All right, so we're going to go back over here. We're going to say that's a 4. And submit that as our answer. And we get a green check. Okay, let's do another problem. This one really isn't any more difficult than the last one. X to the 4th minus 2x squared. Okay, it's definitely a polynomial. Okay, because these are whole numbers. It has 2 terms, and the highest degree is 4. It has all the same answers as our last problem. It's a binomial, and it has a degree of 4. I was hoping we get one that was a little more complicated that we could do. Here we go. This one's complicated. All right, this is the last one I'm going to do for this video. Okay, all right, so this says negative q to the 4th over 6 minus 6p cubed square root of 5 plus 7q3 square root of p. Okay, does this represent a polynomial? Okay, let's remember our 4 no's. Fraction, radical, negative exponent, exponent of the denominator. And let's look over here. Well, this is a number in the denominator. It's not an exponent, so we're okay there. We're okay with there. Whoa, wait a minute. We have a radical and we have a variable. So this is a big no. So it doesn't represent a polynomial. And that's our answer. Okay, good luck with those. And as always, ask me any questions you want. You can text me a picture of a problem you're having trouble with. I will gladly help you with it. Thanks.